The midnight chime has faded, yet the night endures. Restless hearts long for an understanding that should be ours. In the freest place of Ragunna, I await your arrival. This should be the place Capello mentioned in his invitation.
With this invitation, I wish to personally thank you for all you have done for the Montelli family, and to amend the slight misstep in your reception. I hope this gesture will help to mend any misunderstandings and strengthen our alliance. In the name of the Montellis, I shall honor my allies as I do my own kin and blood. In the freest place of Ragunna, I await your arrival. Yours sincerely, Capello Montelli.
I knew it. Another invitation. That's kind of their signature, huh? But this wasn't Carlotta. Who's this Capello guy? Oh yeah, the big boss of the vault and all that jazz. Guess it won't hurt swinging by Carlotta's family. They do owe us a big one. I bet he's got something good planned. A pile of money. Maybe a mega feast! Ugh. I've been feeling pretty weird lately. My head's all wobbly. I might not be able to show right when you need me. Okay, you've got this. If anything happens, just smash your way through. Anyway, I'll leave this to you then. Oh, but hey, if you ever need my help, just give me a shout, okay?
To locate me so precisely and deliver the invitation right into my hands. This Capello Montelli knows what he's doing.
Forgive me for not meeting you properly until now. Guest from the Black Shores, laureate of the Carnival, savior and friend of the Montellis. Your presence is an honor. Allow me to formally introduce myself. I am Capello Montelli, Carlotta's uncle, son of the Padrino, and the next head of the family.
Given Capello's stature, a private meeting at this hour? Is it really just about gratitude?
Without you, the traitors wouldn't have been captured, and I freed from their hands. While Carlotta has expressed our family's gratitude, I feel obliged to do it in person. But unfortunately, the traitors had little to offer, and the one behind them is still in the shadows. Unnerving, isn't it? That does narrow down the possibilities. Things aren't as bright for the Montellis as they may seem. The Order, Phassalias, and the Fraxidas, any attempt to break the status quo puts us at risk. The traitors we captured were a warning, but also a reminder to survive. I must seek alliances beyond the family. Especially with you. Just as Carlotta did. Now that you mention it, let me be clear. Carlotta is dear to me, and nothing will change that. But she's from the lesser branch of the family. Tradition says I, the rightful heir, should manage dealings with the Black Shores, not her. Restoring order and benefiting the family as I intended, that's what I meant in the letter by amending a slight misstep. The leader of the Black Shores must have sent you here with a purpose, Tell me, and I will offer you support far beyond what Carlotta could provide. The choice is yours, of course. But as the family heir, I will not see my authority undermined, even by those I consider allies. So if you can't stand by my side, I prefer you stay out of the Montelli's affairs. Otherwise, believe me, you won't want to find yourself at odds with us, no matter how strong you are. You're welcome to remain an observer from the sidelines, but once you join the table, you play by the rules. My rules.
Well said. But the rules are not set in stone, are they? What matter of intrigue brought you and Rover together at this hour, Uncle? A table? Are we speaking of a splendid card game, then?
Your timing is most unfortunate. Our little chat just finished.
Pity. I didn't think you'd pull her aside for a private word, especially after all Rover and I have been through together. But since you've finished, would you excuse us now?
Carlotta, you stay. I have more to discuss with you.
Meet me at the rendezvous. Beware the ice.
A gun is a powerful tool, but only in the hands of the worthy.
I understand, Uncle. I've never forgotten where my privileges come from, nor will I covet what's not mine. The Black Shores, the Carnival. My sole principle is whether they benefit the Montellis. I will execute any command that strengthens the family, and crush any threats to our standing.
Very well. Keep your words in mind.
Uncle, about Bennett, have you heard?
That family thief stealing from the vault. Why? Are you suggesting I failed my duties?
Not at all. I just happened to overhear someone talking about it in passing.
I'm more entangled in the Montelli family's schemes than I ever realized. Carlotta warned me about eyes, so she probably wants me to avoid unnecessary attention. I'm not sure why, but staying under the radar is never a bad idea. Carlotta's not here yet. Guess I'll have to wait.
Might I trouble you for a light, young lady? Oh, well, a cigar without smoke. My granddaughter told me Raguna's rain is a bad omen. Can't argue with that now, can I?
you've been looking at this painting for a while. Anything special about it?
Oh. Did it capture your interest as well? Or are you simply passing the time until the rain ends? Then it seems you'll have to put up with me for a while. The Montelli family prides themselves on their eclectic taste in art. Any style, by any artist, can find its home within their quarter. Art knows no boundaries of time, place, or the mind. Here we stand, united by the rain, drawn to the same painting. They say in art, we glimpse pieces of our own soul. What do you make of this piece? Ken? Indeed. True artistry lies not only in what is painted, but what is left unsaid. I share the same view, except that I'm somehow saddened by the part that forsakes its character to achieve balance. Perhaps chosen by the artist for its uniqueness. Now is not the time to cling to existing balance, but to embrace the unknown. Seek change and carve out one's path, just as she once did.
Glory in Decay. The Impressionist Pizzoli's latest piece. Didn't know you had such refined taste. I dodged those pesky eyes the whole way here, worried you'd been kept waiting too long. But it seems you've kept yourself entertained. So, the old gentleman was simply hiding from the rain, was he? I see. The Montelli Quarter does attract art enthusiasts. Anyway, I'm glad prying eyes didn't follow. When it rains in Ragusa, surprises are as common as puddles. A delay is only a small splash. Calling you here with little explanation and a word of caution, I can only imagine your confusion. The Montelli's path is not always paved with roses, but with thorns as well. As the heir apparent, my uncle bears many burdens. Seeing me work with you on the Carnival under grandfather's orders might have unsettled him, leading to a hasty, misguided move. truth, I haven't thought about it, and my opinions hold little weight. The current plan has proven effective. I believe it's wise to trust Grandfather's judgment, as I always do. Besides, I now have more important duties to fulfill. The shark in our midst has finally made its move. Recently, several of our partners claimed to have found a superior cellar and ended their dealings with us. Meanwhile, Bennett, our vault keeper, was reported to have embezzled and sold vault assets. It's said that he tried to flee, but was killed by tacit discords outside the city. I'm not so sure. I've worked with Bennett before. He was principled, bold, but not reckless. Not one to easily betray. And the night he died, he sent a photo to my terminal. A blood-stained page of an anthology, marked with 3 phrases. Thy eyes guide my course in the tempest. When 40 winters siege thy beauty, and the planet turns right, twice and a half. The meaning is yet to be revealed, but he is clearly conveying a message. All evidence points to Bennett being the key to uncovering the shark lurking in our waters. The Montelli family is a symbol of liberation for Ragusa. We uphold freedom and equality for all. Our vault is the heart of our family, and if it is corrupted, it threatens not only us, but risks plunging the city back into oppression and isolation. As much as I hate to suspect family members, I cannot rule any of them out. You, however, are different. As an outsider who has aided us in capturing the initial traitors, I hope to not be proven wrong, but I feel that I can trust you. My uncle's words were clear. Only those at the table can play the game. To engage with my family, one must have both standing and purpose. So, I offer you a new identity in our upcoming inquiry. Cat's Eye, a provisional member under my patronage. If you wish to join, you must undertake the final assessment and pledge your loyalty to the Montellis. When it comes to family matters, we like to use code names, each tied to a unique token. Mine, for example, is Opal. Opal recommended Cat's Eye. It has a ring to it, don't you think? Also, have you looked closely at your own eyes? They share the same luster as Cat's Eye gems. Now, Cat's Eye, will you stand with me to catch the traitor within our family and avert this looming threat?
understand decorum is important to the Montellis. But among friends, can't we be a bit more informal?
What made you say that? Ah, you're curious who I am beyond my role. Is that it? I just might entertain that thought. But for now, my agents just sent me the address of Bennett's residence. While his body has been found, what he left behind is still out there. It seems someone has acted faster. Those two, they're my uncle's agents, Sage and Acorn. Yes, we address each other by code names, handy identifiers in a crowd. I'll keep you updated on the family members' code names we encounter, along with any other details you might need. Seems like they are looking for something as well. It's only natural my uncle wishes to retrieve the lost items, but my presence might raise a few eyebrows. Yes, you try and loosen their lips. If memory serves, they are senior members, having served under my uncle for years. Regulars at margaritas. Talk business with merchants and wine with drinkers. Engage their interests, and their words will flow like a river. As for the rest,
Hey, that's you they're calling.
No, that's both of us. But I don't recognize this person.
Neither do I. Listen up.
Okay, you got the names right. Must be family. Who are you? Cat's Eye. Doesn't ring a bell. Probably one of those new recruits after the Carnival.
So, what do you need? We are just about to wrap up and grab a bite at margaritas. Still got a lot on our plate today.
Say, I've heard whispers of your skills. Seeing you here, it's clear you're on an important mission, aren't you? I haven't faced a true challenge since I got here. Would you accept my help? I'm sure I'd learn a thing or two.
Easy. We've just finished up, so nothing more to help with. But here's something I can tell you. Someone tried to steal from the vault recently. No, not yet. We've looked everywhere, but found nothing.
To be honest, I doubt we'll ever find them. The thief has probably sold everything off by now. We are short on manpower. That's a needle in a haystack, if you ask me. Well, our boss is the Padrino's son. He has his methods. Our job is to follow orders, not to ask questions. Just do what we're told, and do it well.
That's right. If you spot anything unusual, keep an eye on it. Could be your big break. With a bit more time, I think you'll do just fine.
so they found nothing, but assumed Uncle wasn't concerned. That makes no sense. Everything that happened recently ties back to the vault. If Uncle wished to protect his position, he'd be quick to retrieve the items and resolve the situation. Curiously, Bennett was last sighted in the vicinity of Liberty Square. where you met Uncle. Last night, I was investigating the area before I happened upon your private meeting. But when I brought this up with him afterwards, he didn't seem privy to any details. As for my search of Bennett's home, nothing of note turned up, just as the two agents reported. I found no spoils, not even the faintest trace of them being stored or moved. Everything about his living space fits the profile of a typical junior vault employee. I also asked around about Bennett after our previous collaboration. He was ambitious, but never greedy. I was even told he refused a bribe offered by a business associate during an operation. The Montelli family is ever generous with wealth and opportunities, welcoming all who aspire to make their mark in Ragusa. Mere profit would never make him betray us. For now, more evidence is required. The entire matter might need to be approached from a different angle. Shh! Hold still. See that man over there, the one that looks like a grey dove? After him, quick! Nowhere to run. Now it's time for a proper chat.
These old creaky bones of mine. Did I offend you? Or are you just chasing down every passing soul? Never thought the Montellis would grow so aggressive.
He had no choice but to run, to escape his past and sever any ties with the Montellis. Right, old Duncan?
I must admit, you have an annoyingly good memory. It's remarkable that someone of your rank would remember a man such as myself.
I will never forget that stormy night. Nor any of the members who were caught in it.
Sadly, I've no desire to be remembered. To me, Montelli is only a name of the past. There were moments of joy, but they cannot make up for my loss. Now, I only feel tired.
Why go back to what you claim to have left in the past? Unless there is something you can't ignore.
You were standing across from Bennett's doorway, and your clothes are still damp from the rain. You weren't simply passing by, you were watching. What were you looking for? Or, should I ask, what did you hope to find?
I don't know. To grieve for my last friend in the family? To blame him for being so reckless and greedy? Or to figure out how this fool ended up in such a mess? Hoping to find the lost items and settle his debts, so he may rest in peace. I tried to persuade him to leave with me, but failed. In Ragusa's game, the Montelli family has only two options. We either play to win, or are forced to leave with nothing. Every Montelli has a chance at their desires. But what's the price? They stake everything they hold dear. Family, love, faith, principles, and even their life. Now, his ambition and greed have cost him everything.
Most people find acceptance easier than change, as change demands the bravery to face uncertainty. No great endeavor is without its perils. So yes, if the Montellis are to drive the change and push past current barriers, the path ahead will be anything but easy. The family exists to withstand what an individual cannot, and accomplish what might otherwise be unattainable. But within the family, each Montelli still enjoys the freedom of choice. Your leaving is a testament to this, is it not? If you're willing, there is still much to be done for Bennett. His terminal, the alleged stolen goods, everything but his body remains missing. Given your familiarity, you might help us in locating these items.
In that case, you might want to speak to Scarlet Velvet. The leader of a network of commoners seeking freedom in Ragusa. They had close ties with Bennett. If he was really stealing, I'd wager they were complicit. And that said, with their recent fallout with the family, I can't guarantee you'll find them, let alone talk to them.
We have little choice but to try. Now, let's go. We're off to the most reliable source of information in Ragusa. This is the place. In Ragusa's market, they say fortune seldom favors those who lack a taste for fine drinks. Among traders, there's a secret code in the way drinks are mixed. A base of bitter almond and mint, for instance, usually signals danger and death. But some have devised their own, more private codes. Yes, this area is essentially a neutral zone in the city. No affiliations, no restrictions. With the ongoing feud between Scarlet Velvet and the Montellis, finding her will be difficult. But I've heard they have eyes and ears here. So all that remains is to order the right drink, watch the crowd, and let their reactions lead us to Scarlet Velvet's contact.
Greetings. What will it be today?
A Scarlet Velvet ribbon, please.
Scarlet Velvet. An uncommon choice. Perhaps the one you seek is waiting just as patiently. May you both find what you've come for. Anything else I can get you? Or is there a problem with the drinks?
As expected from a Scarlet Velvet informant, you are smart. In a place like this, a bartender is the perfect cover. The least noticed, but with the best view. You mix every drink and pass every code. You might not understand all of them, but nothing of importance ever escapes you. So this Scarlet Velvet ribbon is meant for you. Am I correct, sir?
Well, well. It finds its way back to me at last. A drink of trouble, I'd call it. Contact has been made, and by the rules, a conversation should follow. But Scarlet Velvet has decided there will be no further dealings with the Montellis. The partnership is broken, and whatever bond you had is all but gone. If you do meet up, Lady Carlotta, aren't you afraid things might turn ugly?
It's rumored that Scarlet Velvet's decision to end our partnership has something to do with a vault keeper named Bennett.
Surely you don't believe that nonsense.
Then what is the truth? Bennett was recently found dead in the wild. The dead are silent, but you are not. So let's talk.
Wait, Bennett is dead? That complicates things, I'm afraid. I'm not sure if trusting Montelli is a wise choice, but in memory of Bennett, if you truly are as noble as he believed, go to Whisperwind Haven after dusk. I will inform Scarlet Velvet.
Terminals are divine artifacts from the Sentinel, brought to Rinascita by the first Primus. What you possessed were nothing but privately made replicas, existing solely by the grace of the Primus. How dare you defy our cleansing of such blasphemy?
We never stopped asking the Order for permission to wear the terminals, but every single request is denied. You won't even tell us why. You've controlled the terminal supply, and the family stopped trading with us. These are all we have left. Why should we hand them over?
I can sense your fervent desire for the artifacts and the blessings from the Sentinel. But whether you are worthy of the terminals is for the Order to decide. If you willingly part with your wealth in devotion to the Order's divine cause, the door to forgiveness might still be open. But should you persist in your defiance, we'll have to escort you to the penitentiary for judgment.
The Order and the commoners. It must be Scarlet Velvet causing the stir. The Order's arrogance is known, but such blatant actions. Is it because we're far from the heart of the city? Let's first address their troubles, and then we'll have a proper talk.
The Montelli's second daughter, and this year's laureate. I suggest you tread carefully and avoid crossing the Order and the Sentinel, especially not for the sake of mere commoners. Must I remind you again? Trading reserved terminals is a breach of the discipline.
We paid good money for these. If you're taking them, you owe us a refund.
Yet the very traders who took your money have seen the error of their ways and reported your dealings. They have sworn to repent for their illicit production and cease all trade with you. How sad, Miss Carlotta. Such loyalty to your family, only to be left in the dark. No one bothered to inform you, did they?
Oh, please. My ties with the family are not so fragile as to be shaken by mere words. The fact that we're having this conversation at all means that you cannot ignore my status. Wouldn't you agree? The Sentinel and the Primus have declared free trade as our undeniable right. Scarlet Velvet is always entitled to trade as they please, regardless of their previous partnerships. You preach the doctrine, yet fail to adhere to it yourself. If I were you, I'd be on my way to the penitentiary. Willful transgression is the worst blasphemy one can imagine.
Mark my words. The day Montelli is brought to its knees by the Order and Phasalia will be the day you beg for the Sentinel's mercy. When that day comes, all shall be under the Order's control, and it will not be long in coming.
Ernesto, the bartender, said you needed to see me. You may have just offended us, but you heard it. Your family has left us in a mess. Frankly, I don't see the point in having this conversation. But since Ernesto said it's about Bennett, I'll give you a minute, for his sake. Speak quickly. Regardless of the bigger picture, your side ended the deal. We were informed at short notice to stop all trade. And it's not just the terminals. No more jewelry, perfumes, and all that nonsense. You saw what happened today. And not to mention, I haven't seen a Montelli for nearly 2 weeks. Where were you when we were fighting against the Order and the Phasalias?
There was a slight issue of a traitor in the vault, so our hands were tied. A direct approach works best at times. Actually, what that acolyte claimed is news to me. Surrendering control and ceasing trade are not in the Montelli's vocabulary. The Montelli creed has always been family first and a pioneering spirit second.
With your grandfather, maybe. But he won't be around forever. When Capello takes the helm, you won't have a say. The real question is whether we can get our trade back on track. Can your family still be trusted? What I need is a solid promise from someone in charge. Can you do that? One thing's for sure. I don't want to see the family who first broke the monopoly to trade with us commoners end up defending it.
I'll speak with my uncle and grandfather to see what happened with our cooperation.
You know what? This is supposed to be your family's business. Why am I saying this to you? Excuse my earlier words. So, Ernesto told me Bennett's gone. What happened? He seemed fine the last time we met. Good judgment there. The rumours are nonsense. Fencing stolen goods? Please. Bennett used to handle our shipments for the vault, but everything was above board. Nothing shady, okay? He knew his stuff. Never took advantage of us, never budged on prices either. For him, it was always business first, friendship second. When he was running late, he'd stay up at that hill sometimes. We even set up a shelter there after it happened a few times. That's all. Come to think of it, he did stay there for a while the last time we saw him. Asked us to stash something too. What was it he said? I hope we don't need to use it.
Seems Bennett may have anticipated the trouble ahead. I wonder if you might show us to the shelter. We'd be most grateful.
There's an entrance along the coast. Go straight down the road and you'll see it. What's your business there anyway? Wind guide me.
Watch out.
None shall whisper.
You can tell someone was here. Look at the mess. Perhaps Bennett deliberately arranged it this way as a cover. We'll each use our senses to search. Then let's gather and analyze the clues we find. Something is strange here.
These items aren't exactly rare, but they're not everyday objects either. They seem out of place here. Looks like Bennett left them deliberately.
Indeed. But what I find strange is... these items. Don't they seem familiar? Do you recall those 3 lines from the anthology? The ones Bennett sent me in the photo? Thy eyes guide my course in the tempest. The woman in the painting here seems to stand in the gloomy rain, but her eyes remain bright. Like the secret code in drinks, what matters is never the object themselves, but the shared rules and agreements between both parties. Now the book. It appears to be about winter, which is likely related to the second line, 40 winters. The last one is a rotor device. The planet... MLCL 190468. That format, it's a vault storage code. Of course it is. Bennett was a vault keeper. But what was he trying to convey in such a cryptic manner? 4 letters. The highest clearance level in the vault. Could it be? Hold on.
Carlotta? Yeah. You asked me to keep an eye out for Bennett's terminal. Well, I found it. Yeah, that's for me to know and you to wonder. But it was not in good shape after what it went through. Yeah, if you can use it at all, the data and the records inside might need to be recovered.
Understood. I'll have someone pick it up for restoration.
Wait, what now? What, you're not even gonna check? Oh no, it's nothing really. Just worried it might be too tricky to repair.
All right. We'll inform you when there's more to share. We're returning to the Montelli Quarter first. The terminal will be fixed there. As for the codes, we'll figure it out once we arrive. You might not know this, but Bennett was never granted the highest clearance in the vault.
Isn't that a good sign? It means Bennett might not be guilty after all, just as you suspected.
But it's replaced by another suspicion. One I am reluctant to entertain, but I'm forced to consider. Only grandfather, uncle, and I have the highest clearance. Liberty Square, our proximity, the vault's security clearance, a traitor among the top brass, the indifference towards the stolen goods, and the authority to end dealings with Scarlet Velvet. There's someone all evidence points to. Were I to entertain it, it all starts to make sense. Uncle. But if it was truly him, the heir to our family, who betrayed us, wouldn't that be utterly absurd? Now all that remains is to see what the code reveals. It might clear our doubts, or confirm it.
I'll be with you, no matter what. So let's see where this leads.
My people just reported some initial progress on the terminal repair. Let's go. Our meet-up spot is right ahead.
Lady Carlotta, we received a terminal addressed to you, signed DC. The initial restoration is almost complete, but some data is overwritten or isolated due to the extensive damage. We were only able to recover certain sections. Our evaluation suggests that a full restoration might not be worth it. But, if you insist, Mr. Pierre at headquarters is an expert in this field.
Good. Make sure to contact him. Now please project the restored sections.
Absolutely. One moment.
Yes, that's where I was investigating that night. Seems like the intel was right. Bennett did go there. And the other location, I think it's my uncle's private dock. Primarily used for storage, not shipments. Reviewing the records hardly proves the connection between these locations. If time permits, we should take the terminal to Mr. Pierre. He's an old friend of Grandfather's and is an expert in this field. There may be other useful information in the terminal. But first, let's put that code to use. It could help us narrow down the range and provide better clues. Follow me. This is why I suggested we return here. Our vault holds everything. Family property, valuable items for trade, and prized possessions entrusted to us by clients. The complete inventory and access records can only be found here, accessible to those with the proper clearance.